Here is a fact that might surprise you. If you were to drop a single particle of water into the Mississippi River at its source, it could take as long as 3 months for it to complete its journey to the sea. This immense, slow-moving system is far more than just a line on a map. It is the very heart of the American continent, a vast network of water that pulses with life, commerce, history. Its story is the story of a nation, written in water, soil, the lives of the countless creatures and people who have called its banks home. This is the Mississippi, a river that begins not with a roar, but with a quiet whisper in a northern lake. The river's journey begins in the cool, clear waters of Lake Itasca. Here, at its headwaters, the Mississippi is so narrow and shallow that a person can easily wade across it, its humble origins giving little hint of the titan it will become. From this modest start, it embarks on a meandering 2,350-mile voyage southwards, a liquid spine running through the center of the United States. Its destination is the warm, sprawling expanse of the Gulf of Mexico, where its fresh water finally mingles with the salt of the ocean, completing a cycle as old as the continent itself. This long descent is not a uniform one. The river is a creature of constant transformation. It gathers strength and volume from hundreds of tributaries, great rivers in their own right, like the Missouri, like the Ohio, which pour their own waters into its channel. As it grows, its character changes dramatically, from a swift, clear stream in the north to a wide, muddy behemoth in the south. Each section of this magnificent river has its own distinct personality, its own ecosystem, and its own unique relationship with the land and the people who depend upon it. To understand the Mississippi is to understand the diverse tapestry of life it weaves across America. The river's pulse is felt far beyond its immediate banks. Its watershed, the vast area of land that drains into it, covers more than 40% of the contiguous United States, stretching from the Rocky Mountains in the west to the Appalachians in the east. 32 states, 2 Canadian provinces, contribute their waters to this single, mighty flow. This makes the Mississippi not just a river, but a continental drainage basin of epic proportions, a system that connects millions of lives and landscapes. Its health is a reflection of the health of the land it touches, a grand and complex indicator of our relationship with the natural world. In the upper reaches of the Mississippi, the human stories are often intimate and deeply connected to the natural landscape. For generations, families in small Minnesota and Wisconsin towns have relied on the river's bounty. Consider a fisherman who rises before dawn, his small boat cutting through the morning mist. He isn't seeking massive catches for a global market, but rather the walleye, northern pike, that will feed his family and be sold at the local market. His knowledge of the river is not learned from charts, but from a lifetime of observing its currents, eddies, the quiet places where the big fish hide. This is a life of patience and close observation. This northern section is also a haven for wildlife. The river is flanked by the Upper Mississippi River National Wildlife and Fish Refuge, a continuous 261-mile sanctuary of forested islands, marshes, backwaters. Here the air is filled with the calls of birds. Great blue herons stand like statues in the shallows, patiently hunting for fish. You know, it's a complicated balance. The middle Mississippi is where the river puts on its working clothes. Here, it becomes a bustling corridor of industry, its waters carrying the raw materials that fuel a nation. Stand on the Eads Bridge in St. Louis, and you will witness a constant parade of barge tows, some pushing formations of barges as large as a football field. These vessels are the lifeblood of the heartland's economy. One tow might be pushing a mountain of glistening black coal destined for a power plant, while another carries a golden harvest of corn or soybeans, heading towards export terminals far to the south. The river is a liquid highway, far more efficient for bulk transport than any road or railway. The human stories of this section are often tied to this relentless flow of commerce. Think of a barge pilot navigating a tow through a tricky bend in the river at night. Her world is a small pilot house, filled with the glow of radar screens and charts, her hands steady on the controls. She must contend with powerful currents, shifting sandbars, and the passage of other vessels, a task requiring immense skill and concentration. Her life is one of long stretches away from home, spent in the slow, steady rhythm of the river's current, a modern-day heir to the steamboat captains of Mark Twain's era. Her journey connects the farmer's field to the world's markets. This central stretch of the river is also defined by the great cities that grew upon its banks, drawn by the promise of trade and transportation. Cities like St. Louis, Missouri, and Memphis, Tennessee, owe their very existence to their strategic locations on the river. They became gateways for westward expansion, bustling ports where goods and people converged. The cultural legacy of the river is palpable in these cities. The mournful sound of the blues, born in the cotton fields of the Mississippi Delta, drifted upriver to places like Memphis, where it evolved and electrified the world. A testament to the river's power to carry not just goods, but also ideas and art. The ecology of the Middle River is one of adaptation and resilience. While heavily engineered with levees and dikes to control flooding and maintain a navigable channel, life persists. Sturdy fish like the blue catfish, which can grow to enormous sizes in the deep channels, thrive in these powerful currents. On the floodplain, in areas protected from development, pockets of bottomland hardwood forest remain. These forests are vital habitats for white-tailed deer, wild turkeys, and a host of resident and migratory birds. They are remnants of a wilder past, standing in stark contrast to the vast, cultivated fields that now dominate the landscape, a landscape made possible by the very river they border. As the Mississippi enters its lower section, it transforms into a slow, meandering giant, its character defined by immense width and a vast, flat floodplain. The land here is extraordinarily fertile, a gift from the river itself. For millennia, annual floods deposited rich layers of sediment, creating the deep, dark soil of the Mississippi Delta region. This is the heart of America's agricultural empire: cotton, rice, sugarcane. The story of this land is one of immense agricultural productivity, but it is also a story of a difficult and complex human history, deeply intertwined with the legacy of slavery and the sharecropping system that followed. Life for the plants and animals of the lower river is a constant dance with water. The river's slow current and warm temperatures create ideal conditions for species like the alligator gar, a prehistoric-looking fish that can breathe air and survive in low-oxygen backwaters. Towering bald cypress trees with their distinctive flared bases, or knees, stand sentinel in the swamps and bayous, their branches often draped with Spanish moss. These wetlands are crucial nurseries for fish, amphibians, crustaceans, and they are home to an astonishing diversity of bird life, from the vibrant purple gallinule to the secretive prothonotory warbler, a brilliant splash of yellow in the shaded forest. One of the most compelling human stories of the lower river is that of the shrimpers and fishermen who work the delta and the nearby Gulf waters. Their lives are governed by the tides and the seasons, their fortunes tied to the health of the estuary where the river meets the sea. The Mississippi River, for all its power and grandeur, is a system under immense pressure. One of the most pervasive threats is pollution. Runoff from millions of acres of farmland carries excess fertilizers, carries pesticides into tributaries. These nutrients, primarily nitrogen and phosphorus, do not simply disappear. They travel the length of the river and are discharged into the Gulf of Mexico, triggering massive algal blooms. Algal blooms spread, then the algae die and decompose, consuming oxygen, creating a vast dead zone each summer where fish and marine life cannot survive, suffocating one of the nation's most important fisheries. The physical structure of the river has also been profoundly altered. Locks, dams, levees, while essential for navigation and flood control, has had unintended ecological consequences. These structures act as walls, fragmenting the river ecosystem and preventing the natural migration of fish. They also trap sediment behind dams, starving the lower delta of the material it needs to rebuild itself. By attempting to straighten and contain the river, we have disconnected it from its floodplain, eliminating vast areas of wetland habitat that once absorbed floodwaters and filtered pollutants naturally, making downstream floods potentially more severe. The loss of wetlands, particularly in the lower delta, is one of the most critical challenges. Coastal marshes, swamps, and barrier islands are the region's first line of defense against storms. They act like a natural sponge, absorbing storm surge and dissipating wave energy. Yet, they are vanishing at a terrifying pace. An area the size of a football field is lost to open water roughly every 100 minutes. This loss is driven by the lack of sediment from the leveed river, subsidence of the land, and the cutting of canals for the oil and gas industry, all compounded by the relentless rise of global sea levels. Climate change adds another layer of stress to this already burdened system. Scientists predict more extreme weather events, meaning the Mississippi Basin will likely face more severe droughts and more intense periods of rainfall. This weather whiplash creates a volatile and unpredictable future, record-breaking floods, and costing the economy billions. Despite the monumental challenges, a current of hope flows through efforts to restore and protect the Mississippi River. This hope is not found in a single grand solution, but in a mosaic of actions, large, small, undertaken by people who understand the river's value. All along its course, local watershed groups and citizen volunteers gather. Clean up riverbanks, remove invasive species, plant native trees. Their work, weekend by weekend, restores small patches of habitat, reconnects communities to their local waterfront, demonstrates a powerful grassroots commitment to the river's health. On a larger scale, scientists and engineers are developing innovative strategies to manage the river more sustainably. In Louisiana, major coastal restoration projects are underway. These plans include building diversions, large controlled openings in the river's levees that will allow sediment-rich water to flow back into the starving wetlands, mimicking the natural land-building processes of the past. These are ambitious, long-term projects, require significant investment and political will. They represent a crucial shift in thinking, from simply controlling the river to working with its natural power to heal the landscape. There is also growing momentum among farmers in the river's vast agricultural basin to adopt more sustainable practices. Planting cover crops, reducing tillage, creating buffer strips of natural vegetation along streams. These methods reduce the nutrient pollution that fuels the dead zone in the Gulf. They improve soil health. They can make farms more resilient to droughts and floods. These individual choices, when multiplied across thousands of farms, have the potential to make a significant difference to the entire river system. In the end, the future of the Mississippi lies in our collective hands.